What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Drops. So today is the second sort of sit-down video that we're doing, and today I'm going to rank my top 10 favorite roller coaster parks that I have been to, which are also the only 10 roller coaster parks I've been to. The way I've categorized this is basically if a park has like multiple roller coasters, and it's not just like a one-off thing, or it's like the main focus is something else, but it also just happens to have roller coasters, then I count that as a roller coaster park. So the major roller coaster parks that I have gone to in order of when I first went to them, hopefully I get the order right. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. We have Nickelodeon Universe at Mall of America, Disney's Epcot, Disney's Magic Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Valley Fair, Disney's Animal Kingdom, SeaWorld Orlando, Universal Islands of Adventure, Carowinds, and Busch Gardens Tampa. So those are the 10 that will be ranked today. So let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any time. And I will. One little disclaimer is the way that I'm ranking these is based on just the rides, or actually no, we'll say just the roller coasters at the park, and also just the roller coasters based on the time that I went there. We'll say that. Because, for example, I went to Epcot, but I didn't go when it had Cosmic Rewind, so my opinion of Epcot as like a park isn't as high as it otherwise would be. And I'll try to throw in like a sort of an opinion of just the park as a whole, but I'm not going to take into account like park decoration and stuff like that. I'm just going to go, you know what, fine, we'll just say rides, how good the rides are. We'll say that. And if good theming, good decorations make a ride better, then that's all good. But I'm not going to count like the theming of the park or anything. I'm just going to account like the actual like ride experience. So with that said, number 10 in last place doesn't mean it's a bad park, but it's just not quite up to par with all the others. We have a very long named park. Here we have Nickelodeon Universe in Mall of America. I'll put like the state in parentheses, Minnesota. So I remember going to this for the first time when I was like a really young child, riding like Pepsi Orange Streak and Fairly Odd Coaster and being too scared to ride Rock Bottom Plunge. Came back a few years later, rode Rock Bottom Plunge, and then just recently actually went back like about a month ago before my second visit to Busch Gardens Tampa and rode it again for the third time. No, rode Rock Bottom Plunge for the second time, went there for the third time, yeah. So for this park, those are the three main rides that it has, and honestly, none of them are like super high. I think my rankings haven't really changed since last time. Like I've only showed you guys my top 25, but like Fairly Odd Coaster is my number 33 out of I think it's more than 39. I only have 39 listed here, but I think it's like 44 credits is how many I actually have. All the major ones are listed here though, so there shouldn't be anything like major that's cut out. Maybe just like a kiddie coaster somewhere that I forgot to put on like this list. But yeah, and then Pepsi Orange Streak is number 30, so I liked it a little bit better. And then Rock Bottom Plunge, as said before, I moved that one up above Rock and Roller Coaster. But Rock and Roller Coaster was actually not as high as I originally thought it was. So I have, you know what, dude, I gotta update this because I haven't. But Rock and Roller Coaster, or SpongeBob SquarePants Rock Bottom Plunge should be number 20, I think. No? Yeah, number 20. People say it's rough. I didn't really feel that much roughness. I mean, it's not like super buttery smooth or anything, but it's not like rattling your insides or anything. So I think it's fine. Definitely the standout attraction, but still nothing great. Like nothing super high up. No like top 15 coasters or anything. So that's why it's down there. Still not a bad park. Also, just like logistics wise, it costs a lot to like ride anything. You need to buy like tickets or something. It's like, or like points, and each ride costs a certain number of points. All the major rides are going to cost like, I think it's 6 points, and you can buy either like 3, which will get you like one kiddie ride. You can get 6, you can get like 12, 18, like all multiples of like 3 or 6 or whatever. So, yeah, that's number 10. Number 9, I have... I'm not going to write out Disney's for each one of those, but it's one of the Disney parks. It is Hollywood Studios. And I know this might be a controversial take because a lot of people really like the rides at Hollywood Studios, especially like now. I think it's gotten like a new roller coaster that I'm aware of. But they have the Tower of Terror. And unfortunately, I did not ride the Tower of Terror, so I don't know how it is. And, you know, honestly, I really need to get back there and check it out because it seems like a really good ride. It seems like one of the best rides, like, at the whole Disney place. But unfortunately, I didn't experience this, so it really probably should be higher if the Tower of Terror is accounted. But really, all I have to go on is Rock and Roller Coaster. And also, like, I visited Disney last when I was, like, really young. Like, I probably went... The first 3 Disney parks I visited, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios, I was like 8 maybe, and then I was like 10, I want to say, for... Maybe I was only 9. Maybe I was 7 for the first 3 and then 9 for Animal Kingdom. I don't know. Something like that. But either way, yeah, Hollywood Studios, it's really just Rock and Roller Coaster that I'm ranking it against. And, you know, honestly, Rock and Roller Coaster is worse than Rock Bottom Plunge. So... in terms of just roller coasters, I'd probably prefer Nickelodeon Universe, but I think this one just has some other rides that were also good, so there is that. Yeah, and if there's any other rides that really move something up, I'll be sure to mention it for sure. Number 8, we have Epcot. This is probably my favorite, or at least at the time, it was my favorite Disney park for just like the experience in general and like the non-ride aspects. So it'd probably be a bit higher if we were including that. But just ride-wise, there was no real roller coasters when I went there. But there was the test track, and I love the test track. The test track, if it were a coaster, it'd be in the top like 20. It's not like super thrilling, but there is a high-speed ride part of it. So there is that, and also the effects are cool inside it and everything. I obviously need to go back, experience Cosmic Rewind. I don't know which park the Rise of the Resistance is at. It might be at Epcot or it might be somewhere else, but wherever that is, that seems like a super good ride. That seems like it'd be top 5 rides at Disney just in general. So can't wait to go back and eventually ride that, but I don't know when I'll get the chance to because like Disney costs a lot of money. Number 7, we have, let's see here. What do we have at number 7? That is the real question. Yeah. I think we're just gonna farm the Disney parks. Number 7 is Magic Kingdom. First Disney park to open. Still probably the most classic. Got a lot of all the most famous rides and everything. But my favorite, Space Mountain, was my favorite coaster for probably the longest period of time. It was my favorite coaster from the age of like 7 when I first rode it up until like 6 months ago when I went to like SeaWorld and actually started. Actually, no. When I went to Valley Fair, Wild Thing was my favorite. Honestly, we're going to do a little sidetrack. I'm going to give you the history of my favorite coaster. So, no, dang, it won't be too long. When I was little, there was like these kiddie coasters and what have you, and then I think the first favorite one was Pepsi Orange Streak at Nickelodeon Universe. Then I went to the Disney World parks, and Space Mountain was my favorite for a while, and then eventually worked up the courage to like go to Valley Fair. Corkscrew was my favorite on my first visit because I was too scared to go on Wild Thing. And then I finally went on Wild Thing and enjoyed it. And Wild Thing became my number 1 for a while before realizing that Renegade was actually way better. So then, yeah, after Wild Thing, it was Renegade. And then went to SeaWorld and rode Kraken. I don't think Kraken ever actually passed up Renegade until afterwards. I still regarded Renegade as my favorite after riding Kraken. But then, like, the next day, went to Islands of Adventure, rode Hulk first, and that took the number 1 for a couple hours, and then rode Velocicoaster, and Velocicoaster's been the number 1 since then. So there's the history of my top coaster. Just a little quick sidetrack there, but regardless, Space Mountain, it was my favorite for like the longest period of time, so there is that. and they also have Tron now, which I think is good. As far as ride lineups go, I don't think they're the best of the Disney parks. Honestly, they might be one of the weakest. They might be the weakest, actually. I still don't. I still think Hollywood Studios is a bit overrated, just because like I mean, unless Tower of Terror is like super phenomenal, like Avatar level, I don't think it's gonna blow me away that much. Rise of the Resistance might be Hollywood Studios though, because I feel like people talk about it. People talk about Hollywood Studios and say that it has good rides too much for Rise of the Resistance not to be there. I don't know. I should really know where Rise of the Resistance is, but I forgot. Number 6. We have, oh geez, I keep grabbing stuff. Number 6, we've got Valleyfair, my home park, closest like major park to my house, and yet I still don't go there very often. I will make at least one video there. I will go there sometime this summer when it stops being frozen over and everything. But yeah, it's a good park. It does what it needs to do. Obviously, the standout is Renegade, which is my number 6 coaster currently. I think, yeah, number 6 being like the top there. It has the first coaster that we've seen in the top 10. And then it's also got my number 16 and 17, I want to say, or maybe 15 and 16. The ranking list I have here is not the same ranking list that I used in the last video, because the one that I used for the last video was off of like my like ride log app that I have, which has a little bit of differences. Like, for example, I haven't updated this one to put Tigris in front of Sheikah yet, but it's whatever. Steel Venom and Wild Thing are like right next to each other, but I slightly prefer Steel Venom. And then Corkscrew, which used to be my favorite, is now all the way down at number 34, one of my least favorites, just because I don't find it comfortable. And people say it's one of the more comfortable corkscrews by Arrow, so I'm not really looking forward to experiencing more of those. I've only experienced one other, that being Carolina Cyclone at Carowinds, and I thought it was way better. Like, the restraints felt much more comfortable, and I thought it was a much better ride just in general. I think that one was number 25 on my ranking list. But yeah. So, yeah, that's Valleyfair. Decent park. It's got one good standout coaster. I think they're a pretty big jump, at least coaster-wise, from number 7 to number 6. Number 5, we have a park that is not really up here for the coasters in particular, but for something else. We have the last of the 4 Disney parks to open, Animal Kingdom. It's got Expedition Everest, which is a great ride, but it's not like that much better than stuff. It's similar level to like Rock and Roller Coaster, SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like up in there, but it does have my favorite non-roller coaster ride that I've ever been on, which is the Avatar Flight of Passage simulator ride. I think I've said before in my other video, a lot of people say it's overrated. I don't. It's perfectly rated. Honestly, it might even be underrated at this point with how many people are saying it's overrated. It's a fantastic ride. If it were a coaster, it'd be top 5. Probably number 5. I'd probably prefer Hulk to it, but it's better than like Kraken, better than Renegade. It's great. I love those simulator rides. Those are like my favorite type, and if there's more like that, I need to experience them. So yeah, there's that. Animal Kingdom, what's it called? Avatar Flight of Passage, fantastic ride. That's number 5. And then we have another big jump in quality from number 5 to number 4. I think these top 4 are easily the top 4, and also the top, like the 4 most recent that I have been to for the first time. Number 4, we've got SeaWorld Orlando. And this one is B&M Paradise. Is every coaster a B&M there? Surely not. At least everyone that I rode there was a B&M, because I didn't ride Icebreaker. Do need to go back and do that, because now I like Tigris with the comfort collars removed, and Icebreaker also has those removed, so it might be good. We don't know. My favorite ride at SeaWorld, controversial pick, but I like Kraken. Kraken's my number 5 overall. Mako is my number 11, and Manta is number 13, something like that. Yeah. When I got off Manta, actually, you know what? Manta was my number 1 for a little bit, because when I first got off Manta, I was like, yo, that was sick, because I had never ridden a B&M before. That was my first B&M. It was like super smooth, super nice, and super epic. And it was honestly the first coaster I had ridden in a long time. And because I wasn't used to the whole flying thing, I like hadn't even ridden an invert yet. Like, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Montu was actually my first inverted coaster that I ever rode, which is crazy. So you caught it on camera. There's a video of me on this channel in which I have not ridden an invert yet as a roller coaster enthusiast. Like, that's crazy. Oh wait, no, I'm lying. Afterburn's an invert. Yeah, no, Afterburn was the first invert I rode, so never mind. Disregard all that. Anyway, yeah, still fantastic park. I did not ride Penguin Trek either, which, nothing really that I missed from that one. And then Pipeline's also there. Pipeline's fine. The standing roller coasters aren't my favorite, but it's a little bit different because it'll actually allow you to like jump and move a little bit. So there's that. But yeah, Kraken. I like the floorless coasters. I want to experience more of those. I know there's like a Superman themed one at like Fiesta, Texas, I want to say. Something like that. But yeah. Yeah. So Manta was my number one, and then I rode it a second time, and I remembered how painful the pretzel loop was, and I just was like, no, I don't like the pretzel loop. I don't like all the G's. That's one like type of element that I'm just not interested in. So moved it down, and that also probably contributed in moving the park down to number 4. Number 3, we have a park that, honestly, if it's just the rides in a vacuum, is probably number 1. But because of the awful experience that I had with it on my last visit, Busch Gardens Tampa is going to fall to number 3. It has my second favorite coaster in Iron Gwazi. It has great other rides. It has Montu, which is my number 7. It's got Tigris and Sheikah, both of which are solid. And Cheetah Hunt was closed all the times that I visited. Oh yeah, also Kuma, my number 10. I think Cheetah Hunt, if I rode it, would probably be in my top 10. So it may still move up if I get there and Cheetah Hunt is there and everything's going good. But just the operations at Busch Gardens Tampa are just the worst I've seen out of any major park I've been to. They're not great. The ride ops they don't tell you what's going on. The wait times are inaccurate. The dispatch times are ridiculous. It's just not great. And I get stapled a lot. It's kind of annoying. But I don't know. You can't take too much away from how fantastic the rides are, so there is that. I'm not going to move it below SeaWorld or anything. I still think it's got standouts. All of my top 3, there's one of them are in each of the top 3 parks. So it's not like having a ride that's super good is going to boost you up. It's more about having a good ride and a good supporting cast. And I think with our number 2 spot, they just do a little bit better job at having their top 3 is slightly better technically. I mean, technically if you add up all the sums of the numbers, it's the same. But I just feel like the vibe at my number 2 park is better. And unless Cheetah Hunt is super good, I think Busch Gardens is going to stay at number 3 for me. So that being said, number 2 is Carowinds in North Carolina and South Carolina. You've got, obviously, the standout is Fury 325, my number 3 overall coaster. And I think, as I've said, those top 3 might be in my top 10 forever. They might never fall out of my top 10, no matter how many travels I go to, because those 3 are just so phenomenal. But yeah, to have a coaster that good, you have to be that high. And then its next 2 are also super great. You got Afterburn at 8 and Copperhead Strike at 9, which honestly, Copperhead Strike is my type of roller coaster. I like ones that focus on hang time. It's not super tall, so it's very re-rideable. I can do it a whole bunch of times without getting pooped out and tired. It's not the same as Afterburn, where there's just a lot of G's, or the same as Fury, where it's a huge drop. But yeah, I could marathon Copperhead Strike all day if the line didn't get too long. My only thing with Copperhead Strike is there's not a ton of like super fast moments. It's not like super thrilling. It's kind of just like a good fun ride. Whereas I feel like something like Kumba, the third best ride at Busch Gardens, is more intense. But I think Copperhead Strike's a little more fun. So I'd say that the top three is just a little bit better at Carowinds. And then you also have the number 12 ride, that being Thunder Striker. And from there, you got a bunch of other random whatever rides, which are mostly below like the 4 and 5 rides at Busch Gardens Tampa. Like Cobra's Curse is number 23, and then 25 and 26 are both at Carowinds, as well as like 29, but like those are pretty much too low to even really care about. But yeah, I still think just better vibe of a park in general than Busch Gardens, so I gotta put it there at number 2. And finally, at number 1, maybe there's a little bit of like park vibe bias here, but I don't really care. My number 1 park, as of right now, is Islands of Adventure. So, obviously, it has my number 1 coaster, it has Velocicoaster, but it also has my number 4, so it easily has the best top 2 of any park. And then that is it. That is it for the coasters that I have ridden there. Now, the main reason I'm putting them up here is because they also have Hagrid's, which I think is one of the best family coasters in existence. And I think just by nature, if I had ridden it, it would be at least number 14, because I think it's by nature going to be better than like the next best family coaster in Space Mountain. I think I'd probably like it better than Manta. It's hard to know whether I'd like it better than like a Hyper Coaster. I doubt it. So maybe 13 or something if I were to make a prediction. But then again, I haven't ridden it. I don't know. It's hard to make predictions like that. But you also got to consider all the other rides. And another thing I didn't ride, which I probably should have rode, was the Spider-Man ride, which people are saying is like one of the best simulator like dark rides that exists as well, like up there with Avatar. But I didn't even get to ride it. And it's another thing where it's like I need to get back to this park and try it, because this park could be even higher than it is right now. Based on just the roller coasters that I've ridden in the park, I think Busch Gardens takes number 1, but just the ride ops at Busch Gardens being so not great, and the ride ops at Islands of Adventure, just like the speed at which they do everything being so great. It's like a Universal park. It's super professional. That really helps. Also, the Harry Potter ride I was on, that one was pretty good, although the wait was like way too long. The one ride at Islands of Adventure that was kind of lame was the Kong ride. That was just kind of mid whatever. But yeah, other than that, I think my experience at Islands of Adventure has been the best of any park that I've gone to. And that's why it's currently my number 1 park, although hopefully something can top it in the future. We'll see if I someday make my way out to Cedar Point. I hope to do that eventually. I hope to vlog that. It would be great. But until that happens, Islands of Adventure will be staying at my number 1 spot. So, with that said, I would like to thank you guys for watching this episode of Beyond the Drops. I think in the next video, I'm going to try to do something like which coasters / parks I'm excited for, or I'm going to rank manufacturers, or I could like best elements on coasters, or best type of elements. I'm just listing all my video ideas here. I don't know which one I'm going to do next, but it'll be something like that, one of those. So, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.